We all experience challenging and difficult situations in life. In the face of these complexities, it is not always clear how to respond, what to do, or what to avoid. It's easy to get stuck in these moments and stop moving forward in life. Wholeness with Naomi is a program that explores our experiences with such encounters and provides tools and strategies that can enable anyone facing these hardships to continue walking their path in life. We can't wait to meet you on this journey. Tune in, your life is about to change for the better.
Welcome to our program, Wholeness with Naomi, where we talk about different and sometimes difficult situations that we find ourselves in. More importantly, we talk about tools that you can use to navigate at each different stage of your life. Today we're talking about something which is quite pertinent, that even as a young child, when you're going to school, you're really looking forward to. We're going to be talking about careers. And we'll be exploring that subject in full today because we're joined on the program with Ms Ruvimbo Marara. Welcome to the show, Ms Ruvimbo.
Thank you for having me, Naomi. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this talk. This is my life. I live and breathe careers. So I'm excited to be here on the show.
Okay, thank you. Do take us into this subject of career. What's involved, Ms Ruvimbo?
Okay, what is involved is you building it up. That involves your CV, your cover letter, your interview skills, your networking skills. How are you mapping that path? Do you have a plan on it? How is your LinkedIn looking like? This all is involved in one's career.
Okay. I also understand, Ms Ruvimbo, you also run a company called Ruvimbo Consultancy. How do you link that with what you're sharing?
Okay, with Ruvimbo Consultants, I'm here to structure a CV for you. Okay. I'm here to prepare you for a job interview, to prepare you fully. I'm there to optimize your LinkedIn. Let's get you your digital footprint set out. And I'm there to also help you come up with your career plan. Where do you want to go? Where are you lacking? You feel like restarting. How do you start? How do you press the restart button? This is what I'm doing.
Okay, that sounds interesting. I'm actually interested in learning more, Mr. Ruvimbo. You're speaking about a career plan. Would you like to share more about that?
Okay, so like myself, when I was growing up, I went to high school. After high school, it's university. After university, then you are considering getting your master's or getting formally employed. And the question that one has to ask themselves is, where am I going? Where am I coming from? What is lacking in the journey? And this is where the career plan comes through. We often talk about vision boards and people coming up with their vision boards. So it's more of your career vision board. Where do you want to go? And these are the questions you should ask yourself. In the next 2 to 5 years, where would I want to be? What makes me happy? I mean, careers are your everyday life. How do you fulfill that part of yourself? And this is where the career plan comes in.
Okay. As I am listening to you just sharing, there is something that is constantly coming up. It's picture it. What is it that you want? Where do you want to go? What does it look like for you? But before we go there, let's take a short break. Mama, you can use the right tool. Mama, why are you always reading that book?
I'm not reading it because it's a book you wrote. I'm reading this now because this is the best tool for forgiveness and healing.
Welcome back, viewers, to our program, Wholeness with Naomi. Before we went on a short break, we were talking about career mapping and career planning. Ms. Ruvimbo shared some insights onto that. Can you maybe just share more? What are some of the dynamics that are involved as one is mapping out their career?
Okay, the dynamics involved, like when I'm conducting a career coaching with a client, I need to understand that do they understand themselves?
Okay.
Most careers were chosen because of family dynamics,
Okay.
the pressure that comes with society. Your parents felt they really knew what suits you more. But when you walk into the real world, you then start to understand yourself. So the dynamics are, I make a person reflect on why they're currently where they are.
Okay.
And that's where everything is centered. From there, we start then unraveling. So where do you want to go? Because with careers, we actually have, I deal with clients in the age range 35 to 55, and they want to transition. Like, I've been in this career for 10 years. I want to transition. That means that's a new career plan. That's a new direction that one wants to head towards.
As you're just sharing, Ruvimbo, you know, the person is the most important, if I would say, thing in this whole equation. Where you're looking at, what sort of person are you? What sort of choices did you have to make to get to that particular place where you had to map out your career? Are there any other things or areas that one is to also look at as they're mapping out their career?
Yes, they are. It's important. We talked about one, really understanding themselves. It's also important for them to know where they would want to be in the next 2 to 5 years.
Okay.
It's also important to understand what kind of environment they thrive in. So we bloom where we're planted, but we bloom more where we plant ourselves. And that applies to careers. So it's important for someone to know, okay, what kind of an environment brings out the best side of myself? What kind of an environment fully supports the modules that the university took me through? So yeah.
So it sounds more of there is a lot of awareness that one is to undergo to actually understand and know who they are.
Definitely, one has to know. A career is of importance. It builds you, it shapes someone, it determines their future. It also does reflect their past. I mean, careers shape us. I have a certain way that I dress because of my career. We see different individuals function. There are people who are ever smiling because of the career that they're placed in. It wants their smile at every minute of the day. So, yeah.
Okay. There's also something that I want to pick on, Ruvimbo, which you just mentioned. You said one needs to be able to understand where they're able to thrive in. Is that something that is feasible and possible?
It is feasible to a certain extent. We do have organizations that support people fully. They make people thrive. They take you from one level to another with support. Now we have wellnesses that are happening in organizations, employee wellness programs, and those are really bringing out the best in employees. We have HRs stepping up in the Zimbabwean economy to say, you know, we need this on the table. And with the support of the government, it's happening. So it is feasible.
Okay, that's actually good to hear. So I'm looking at, for example, someone that is struggling right now in their career. They're really thinking, what should I do? How do I map it out? How do I plan? And just bringing home these concepts that you're just mentioning, Ruvimbo. How does one come from that place where they're watching and they're really thinking, how do I go about it? What are some of the key things or tools that person can use to be able to come to that place where they now are connected, they know where they're going, and everything is falling in place for them?
All right. So let me take a kitchen example.
Okay.
If someone is cooking and there's too much heat that's being applied to the pot, they have an option to be tuning the temperature. This is what happens to careers. You are not stuck there. Even if I have gone through a 4-year program, degree program, and after one has graduated, they feel they're in the wrong place. Can we be agile enough to know I can start again? I can restart, go back to the drawing board. You need to be able to have flexibility with careers. They are ever evolving and changing. When I deal with someone, I always tell them, you have gone through the books of law, but there's still room for something else that you want to venture into. And this is the first thing that one should do. And in the period of building your career, when you're open to change, you should also be open to failing. It's part of the journey. You can start something, definitely go for a program, and maybe you're 6 months in, you see it's too heavy for me. This is not the environment I would want to be in. And it's okay to fail, to pick yourself up, to start again. And your mindset has to be prepared for it. I mean, it's a journey. You're walking through it, and there are detours, there are valleys, there are ups, there are downs. One has to be open to mentorship. Get a mentor.
Okay.
Get someone who mentors you through. Get someone who has walked through the same career path.
I actually wanted to ask, as you're talking about mentorship, for you to also just dig deeper into it. Because I do feel that sometimes we have a certain perception of what mentorship is to what it actually is on the ground. Where we are talking about career, what sort of mentorship should one be seeking out for, and how do they select a mentor that's suitable and right for them?
Okay. I feel like the issue of selecting a mentor is natural. Okay. When your lions fall in the same places and in the same industry. So mentorship now does not necessarily mean that I'm coming to your house and every day we're having a conversation. There's what I call remote mentorship, where you identify someone who's in the same industry with you, and they might not necessarily be going in the very same direction with you, but it's somewhere around that. And you follow them religiously online, on LinkedIn, on a social media platform.
The digital print we're talking about.
Yes. So follow them, see how they do, and if you can, have a conversation with them. I've seen that mentorship works more when, Naomi, you are mentoring me and you don't know it. Compared to when I actually approach you and I'm like, Naomi, can you be my mentor? Now you're aware, Ms Ruvimbo is looking at everything that I'm doing. Yes. True. And how to find the right people is you're supposed to know your circle, your career circle. You know where to get those people who can mentor you. So learn from those, feed from those. And if you're privileged enough to have someone who can say, let's have sessions, then well, go for it.
So if I'm just, summarizing the things that you're just sharing in this session, Ms Ruvimbo, one of the main things that you're speaking about is mentorship and the importance and the impact that it does have even as you're planning and mapping your career. You spoke about self-awareness, knowing who you are as a person and what you want to achieve and what that picture looks like for you at a personal level. You also spoke about not fearing failure. And I think it's really something that even viewers, as you're watching, it's something which is really important. Failure is not, or failing rather, is not something which is easy to handle and take. But most of the people, the great people that we hear about, many of them, they've fallen so many times. But what strikes or comes out more about them is not the many times they've fallen, but how many times they've risen up. The big brands that we hear about, even on media right now, most of them, they encountered seasons of failure. Failure needs to be embraced, as it also helps to direct us to the place where we want to get to. Let's take a short break. Mama, you can use the right tool. Mama, why are you always reading that book?
I'm not reading it because it's a book you wrote. I'm reading this now because this is the best tool for forgiveness and healing.
Welcome back, viewers, to our program, Wholeness with Naomi. Before we went on a short break, we were talking about everything about careers, what's involved, how do you map up your career, and Ms Ruvimbo was taking us on that journey. And I want us to take it a notch further, Ms Ruvimbo, and let's talk about unemployment. What is unemployment?
I would define unemployment as your job waiting season.
Okay.
The job is there, you're just waiting for it.
For the next, either it's a next job opportunity or they're actually waiting for even their first job.
All right. They need to know they're enough with a job or without a job.
Okay.
A human's value isn't tied to their state of employment.
Okay.
They need to understand that. They need to understand that it's a season. It's not permanent.
It's a season.
The job is there. You just haven't found it. They also need to understand that as a person, you need to upgrade yourself continually, whether you're entering into the office or you're staying at home. So you just don't sit and wait. I mean, now we have AI. Advances come and go. They're supposed to uptake short courses so that you stay on the game. You are supposed to network. Put yourself out there. That's how you get to know, Naomi is doing A, B, C, D. and Naume can come through in this area. So it's important for someone to put themselves out there.
Okay. I want to pause you a bit on that one, on networks, Ms Ruvimbo. When I hear of the word network, sometimes what comes to mind are people who are playing golf or those big things. What does it look like when one is actually networking or partnering at a level that everyone is able to relate with it? What does it look like? What is it?
All right. It looks like when you build a relationship that is mutual and it's not one-sided. It's you let the relationship grow.
Okay.
You need to be strategic in building connections with people. And don't always be on the edge of building for your benefit, but let it be mutual. So if I am in my season of waiting and I have a conversation with someone who is in the season of waiting, I am supposed to grow the conversation beyond me asking if they know of a vacancy, A, B, C, D. It has to grow beyond that.
Okay, I like that. I like that. What are some of the networks that one has around them rather?
Okay, like we've got churches, you've got your neighborhood, and you can start by volunteering. Show a skill at church, volunteer to do something, volunteer to offer a service, raise your hand up when they need a contribution, and that's how you plug into it. How you plug into any network is by being useful and opening your mouth. I mean, a shut mouth doesn't get fed. No one will know what skills you possess.
Okay. You spoke about the digital blueprint earlier on when we started. How important is that as one is going through this season of waiting?
That one is very important. I know we are living in a generation where we say YOLO, you only live once, but the internet does not forget. And it's very important. You should be sensitive on what you tap on and what you don't tap on. Okay. It really comes back. Now, I know we still have the CVs, but your digital footprint is of importance. Now, HR practitioners or the recruiters, they do look at what's your online activity like. And it's of importance to one, especially in the waiting season, because you are more idle.
Okay.
Definitely they can. You just need to position yourself well. Position yourself strategically by setting up your LinkedIn. You're active on LinkedIn. If it's your Facebook, you're active there in the right way. So when you're in a waiting season, you should know which buttons to press. Okay. Put your skills out there. What do you bring on the table? Today I'm on this show because of my digital footprint. I mean, that's where we meet.
That's actually where we met.
That's where we meet. And maybe one day I might be part of the team because of that. So you need to position yourself strategically. I always liken careers to relationships. Know where to be, how to dress. Yeah. I would want to share that unemployment is a season. It's a waiting season. The jobs are there. You just haven't found your job. Don't let it define you. Don't let it equate to your value, to who you are. You're still enough. Put yourself out there. Develop yourself. Don't ever stop developing yourself. The world is ever changing and you don't want to be left behind. Grow interest when you see things. What is AI? Where is it coming from? How are people using it? It's in these small details that your door might open.